Hey everyone, welcome to TBEY's Visual Arts class. Today we're going to be learning about animal craft, and I will be doing and showing you guys a series of how to create some animals out of craft paper. Today we'll be creating a craft puppet owl, and the materials that you're going to be needing is going to be a scissor, Sharpie, glue stick, and then you're going to need a small sheet of white paper. You need to draw 2 circles for the owl's eyes. So make sure you do that first before we start this owl project. All you need is a small sheet of white piece of paper. Just draw 2 circles. You can use the cap of your glue stick to trace and draw the circles for the eyes. Next, you're going to be needing a craft piece of paper. The color can be of your choice. I've chosen yellow. You can go with whatever color that you want to go with. Next thing you'll also need is a craft stick. The craft sticks look like a popsicle stick, but they're much larger, and they're going to be used as a handle for our puppet owl, which you will see towards the end of the video. And also make sure you have Scotch tape or painter's tape. I'll be using painter's tape, but Scotch tape works as well. Okay, so the first step we're going to be doing here is we're going to grab the top right corner of our piece of paper, and we're going to fold it over to the left edge of our paper. Make sure the edge is parallel and straight along with the left side. And then we're going to crease from the top. Make sure the top is sharp. It has a sharp point at the top. And then we're going to crease it down so that our paper is folded over correctly and parallel. We're going to do it again just to show you guys how I do that fold. Bring the top right corner all the way to the left and crease it down. Next step, we're going to cut off the bottom rectangle of our triangle. We're going to make sure we cut as slow as we can and make sure it's straight. If you cut too fast, I don't want you guys to cut into the triangle. That's not what we're doing here. We want to cut along the edge of our triangle. So once we have the edge cut off, we should just have a nice, perfect folded triangle. You guys can see here, we have one line going down the middle of our triangle. And the next step, we're going to be folding our triangle in half one more time. So make sure you want to fold corner to corner, crease the top, and we're going to make sure our triangle is as equal and straight as possible with our fold. We're going to open it back up. We should have an X in our square or our diamond piece of paper. Our next step is we're going to grab the top edge and corner. We're going to fold it down to the center of our paper here. So the center should be the center of the X, right? So make sure we have that tip all the way pointed to the center. Now we have a crease mark in our paper. We're going to fold the same corner and we're going to fold it to that crease mark. This will be the top part of our owl, which is going to be the head. You guys can see there, I'm showing it again. Fold that down to that crease mark. I'm going to grab the bottom corner, which is opposite. I'm going to fold it all the way up to that same crease mark, and the tips of the corners should be touching one another. You're going to crease it down. You guys can see here, I'm showing it again. The tip of the corners are just touching each other. They're not overlapping, but they're just touching each other. I'm going to fold the wings. I'm going to fold it in towards the center of the line. And you guys can see here, I'm going to show you guys carefully. The tips of the wings are just touching the center of our owl here. And I have this angle, and our wings should be like angled a little bit. They should not be lined up to the center of the line, but it's just the tip that's touching, which I'm showing here with my fingers right now. And I'm going to do the same thing to the opposite side. I'm going to fold the left side of the wing where the tips of the wings are just touching one another, and we should have this triangle shape, which I'm showing with my fingers, triangle shape within the wings. This part may just be a little bit tricky, but if you guys watch first of how I do it, you guys can follow and see just exactly what I did. Next thing I'm going to fold is the beak of our owl, which is just that big tip that we folded, and we're just going to fold it down and crease it. Next step is we're going to be gluing 3 areas, which is going to be both of our wings and the top of the head. So I'm going to open up the wings. I'm going to fold it on the left side of the wing, and we're just going to fill up that little area where the crease mark is. I'm just staying inside the crease mark. I'm not gluing outside of it. You guys can see here. And I'm going to fold it down and give it a nice rub down so that the glue stick will stick. I'm going to do the same thing to the right side. Make sure you fill and cover up a good amount of area. And then after I'm done folding and creasing down the right side of the wing, I'm going to glue the top of his head, which is the open area that's flapped up. I'm going to just glue that triangular area, and then so that the shape of his head can be hold or held down. And now the next step that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting out the owl's eyes. So remember our 2 circles that we drew, those are going to be the owl's eyes. I'm just going to cut them out, and then we're going to glue it on to the owls. So once our eyes are glued down, now we can use our Sharpie and we can color in or draw in the pupil of our owl. You can use a pencil to start it off first if you're not confident, and then you can trace over it with a Sharpie. You guys can see here, now I have the pupils for my owl's eyes. And I'm going to add some eyebrows for my owl. And I'm going to make him like a little bit mad, just to give him some character. You guys can do whatever pupil or eyebrows you guys want for the owl. Be creative. I encourage you guys to be creative. And next thing I'm going to draw are the feathers of his wings. The feathers of his wings, the way I'm doing it is I'm just drawing these 3, almost like these 3 doing the letter U, and I'm just going to connect them. Just like that. And then our next step that we're going to be doing is we're going to have a second sheet of our craft paper. If you don't have that by your side, make sure you go grab one. You can pause the video, grab a second sheet of craft paper, and you're going to fold it in half. And on the folded side, not the open side, on the folded side, we're going to draw some hair for our owl. You can do whatever type of hair you want, but you're going to draw one side of the hair. You guys can see here, I drew one side of the hair, just half of it, and I'm going to cut it out. You guys can do the exact same hairstyle as mine if you want, but you can also explore and be creative with what kind of hairstyle that you're looking for. But I'm going to go and cut on the line of the hair that I drew. And remember, this is only the half side, because what happens when I open it up? When I open it up, I'm going to have a full set of hair that's equal. You see how here? This is what I mean when I cut inside the folded area. If I cut it on the open side, I'm going to get 2 pieces. We want one solid piece. You guys can see I'm opening it up, and here's the hair for my owl, which is going to sit right on top of his head. We're going to go and glue that down so that our owl isn't bald, right? And then our next step is we're going to get either Scotch tape or painter's tape. Remember, I have painter's tape. That's what the tape I'm going to be using. We're going to be gluing down a craft stick to the back of our puppet owl. So the craft stick that I've chosen is orange. You can choose whatever color, or maybe you have a plain just a plain wooden stick that works just as well. A plain color craft stick is fine. But you're going to put it to the back side of our puppet owl, just about there, about halfway, and then we're going to use either a Scotch tape or painter's tape and just tape the stick down. Once the stick is taped down, then you have your finished puppet owl, as you guys can see here. So this is the finished look. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and also like you guys can definitely create more puppet owls, explore, create different characters of puppet owls. This is one of my favorite projects to do for students. So thanks again for watching. Remember, this is going to be a series of creating animal crafts. So this is just our first one. In our next video, we're going to be creating a different animal using craft paper. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys soon.